This week we are discussing captains.
They're footballers, so people think their job is just football. Roll Gary Neville up. And because he was so good at arguing, they'd send him in there and he'd just sort everything out. Pick 3 or 4 players for the jury, and if they said he's guilty, then the fine gets doubled. That's just speed.
Undefeated.
That's just speed.
Jedinak, I don't know if you remember him.
Oh, yeah.
The Australian.
Yeah.
He was a top captain.
Captain sorting tickets is something I've never heard of.
Captain's like trying to juggle all these numbers, who's having what.
It does all sound quite fun, if I'm honest.
Not if people are dropping a few grand every week.
This is what I'm learning. I think it's different in Sunday League.
Actually the best captain ever for me.
What's going on, people, and welcome back to Ball Talk. I am your host, Noah, and I'm here, as always, with footballers Lewis and Ken. This is one of our insight episodes where me and you find out everything about the footballing world from these two right here. Last couple of weeks, we've covered injuries and transfer room, the Tinder of football. This week, we are discussing captains, and to begin with, we need to test the boys' knowledge with a quiz.
I'm excited.
Ken, as you stated before this recording, you are unbeaten.
Undefeated.
So, Lewis.
We did draw one, but that was the recording, unfortunately, got taken away.
That's convenient, isn't it? Right.
We all know what happened.
Yeah, we all know. 4 questions, captains. Okay. Very random questions, some quite tough.
4, okay.
Are you buzzing in? Is it fastest finger first?
Yeah, I like fastest first.
Yeah?
What? Just say it.
As quick as you can. Just say it. Yeah, cool. Okay. Question 1. Who captained England in 2016 in their 2-1 loss to Iceland?
Wayne Rooney.
Wow.
No way.
I'm not sure I even finished the question. That was rapid. That is 1-0 Ken.
I don't mind losing like that because he just got the
He's got the knowledge.
Yeah.
This is a weird one. You might have a little time to think about this, so don't jump the gun.
Okay.
How many captains have Chelsea had since 2010? We're talking official club captains. It's a tough one, this. Not captains that have just jumped in the game because someone's injured. Official club captains.
Okay. I'm going to go with 7.
Incorrect.
6.
Incorrect. Lewis, you can go again.
We go again?
Yeah.
Or we both just go again, whenever.
Yeah.
8.
5.
Both wrong. I'm not giving it to anyone.
Okay.
Jokers.
Who was it? How many? 4?
You got Terry until 2017.
Yeah.
You got
Ivanovic?
You got Cahill.
No. Cahill.
2017 to 2019.
Yeah.
You got Azpilicueta 2019 to 2023, and Reece James.
No way.
Oh, wow.
4.
Fair play.
I didn't realise Terry was till 2017. That's
Thing is, all
why.
the players who have wore the armband on the pitch come to your mind.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I was thinking guys like Fabregas and that.
Yeah. Good point.
I knew
guess what? You were wrong.
Captain, but it was just coming in my head.
Okay, 1-0.
Ken still 1-0 up. Question 3. Who's the current Germany captain?
Joshua Kimmich.
I was going to say that.
Correct.
Yes.
1-1.
Oh, I was about to say Muller.
Yeah. I went, right. Question 4. This is decider.
Okay.
Lock in. Ken, you got us now beaten. What is captain in Spanish?
Capitano. Is that right?
It's not what I've got written here.
I don't know. I just. What? Okay. Well, Ken can have a go.
Ken, have a guess.
Is that not right?
Capitaine or something.
So, the feminine for captain is Capitana. The masculine is El Capitan.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, the captain though. I just put captain.
But you were also wrong. Capitano.
Is that another draw?
Another draw.
We can call that a draw. Do you want a decider? Or are you happy to shake hands?
Do you have a decider?
No, but I can make one up.
Yeah, make one up.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I need to get a win on the board, man.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it really quickly.
Yeah.
Arsenal captain.
Odegaard.
Oh, Lewis, that's such an easy question.
That's just but that's not a question. That's just speed.
Undefeated.
That's just speed. What do you
because
mean?
I obviously know the answer.
He didn't say it.
Yeah, because he beat me to it.
That is the point.
Same with Kimmich though. I was literally about to say it.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Bro fumbled again.
Yeah.
Bro, why's your hamstring going? What?
But I prefer the
You
questions.
took too long for the Odegaard one though. Like,
Yeah,
even
that
though I
should
said
have
it,
been.
I should have heard
Because
your mouth open at some point.
I expect the question that's going to be tough for either of us to know.
Guess what,
I mean?
baby? That's a quiz.
You know, like the chase. That's my game.
And you lost.
Okay, let's go.
Sometimes in the chase they have easy questions.
Yeah, but they only have time up against someone at the end.
Excuses. That is not what a captain would do. A captain would take the blame.
Full accountability.
So talk to me.
Yeah.
You got any experience with captaincy? Have you been one? Have you wanted to be one?
I've been one pretty much every academy age group and also the 18s and 21s.
Nice.
So every age group I've played up until I've never obviously been it for the first team or any friendlies with them. So yeah, I've experienced it. I always find, though, I mentioned to Ken off camera, I always find that my mindset changes when I've been made captain, and I don't know if I actually play better when I've been made captain.
You think you play worse?
Yeah, I feel like you feel like there's extra responsibility to motivate the team.
Yeah.
And to sort of be that head figure in the team.
Do you think it takes away from your game? Like you can't fully focus on your game?
Like my game, I feel like I'm at my best when I'm sort of don't have anything else on my mind, and I'll still like naturally just communicate well with my team.
Yeah.
But when you've got the armband on, you feel like you've got to start doing extra things that you wouldn't normally do.
I think it takes you out your flow state.
Yeah, and exactly that.
Yeah,
and it adds one extra, thought in your mind away from your game.
Okay, interesting. Ken?
When I was really young, like young academy days, or even before that, Sunday league days, I used to make myself captain at Sunday league.
Love that.
Bring my own armband.
I volunteer as tribute. Bring your own armband.
Yeah,
that's cute.
I used to do that.
That's cute.
So was there just like 7 captains?
No, it was just me. The only one. And then through like older years, not really. No, I've like worn the armband on random games, or like if someone's been subbed off or something, but never been like an actual captain.
You don't bring your own anymore. You don't take your own St Albans like, lads, it's me today.
Nah, don't do that.
Can anyone be a captain, or does it take a certain type of person?
Yeah, it definitely takes a certain type of person. Like you couldn't have sort of a tricky winger as a captain, in my opinion, because they're too selfish.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's got to be someone who's ideally for me in the middle of the pitch. You wouldn't have a Leroy Sané or a Martinelli as a captain. You need to be a leader. You need to be a leader in terms of your communication, but also your professionalism.
Okay.
How you look after yourself on and off the pitch, how you carry yourself, how you speak with people. So I feel 100% it's only for certain people.
Would you agree?
To an extent, yeah. I think it just depends. Like Ronaldo's captain of Portugal from very young. Just because of how good he was as a player. And that's obviously an outlier. He's not Martinelli, he's not Sané. He was their best player by a mile. Mbappe's currently French captain. I think if you've got a talisman like that, it's different. He's not necessarily your stereotypical captain, but he's your best player.
I feel that.
I feel like with Ronaldo, though, he's grown into a proper captain's role.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
First of all, he would have been a leader and a captain in how hard he's worked on and off the pitch. He's how professional he was.
Leading by example.
Like if you see Ronaldo staying after training to do extras, and you're an 18-year-old, you're thinking, right,
I need to do it as well.
I need to go and do that. He's at the top of his game and he's doing it.
Yeah,
that's that you can be a captain in that way, leading by example. And then as he's got even older, he's also had the other side to it, where he can now communicate and motivate his players and get the best out of them by speaking. Yeah. So someone like that is obviously a good captain.
Yeah, but I do agree with what you said about middle of the pitch. I think centre halves are best placed to be captain, and just because of the position they're at, they see the whole game in front of them. Like I've been in teams where coaches have complained that as players we don't talk enough or we're not vocal enough.
Yep.
And I always find that that's not a message for me, because
interesting.
I can't dictate the game from the top of the pitch. Like
you're not shouting at the left back.
If I'm making a run, I might call or something, but I'm not like, I can't be telling people tuck in, spread out, whatever the kind of info centre halves can give from behind the game. And naturally, because they're the ones who are talking a lot more and leading a lot more, they're kind of better suited to be captains. So I think centre halves, centre midfielders as well.
They're the two
good positions to be captains.
If you had to pick one best position to be a captain, are you talking centre half or centre mid?
I'd go centre mid.
I'd go either or.
I think the centre halves you're gonna get that regardless.
Yes.
Whereas a centre mid, you can get like they're near the ref first of all.
Yes.
So you can get in the ref's ear.
That was always when I was.
They can talk to refs because they're the only ones allowed to talk to the refs. So if they're close, it helps.
That was always the thing. Even if you weren't talking to your team much in the game, when I'd run past the ref, it'd be don't forget he's done that twice now, ref.
Yeah.
Just because you're near him, your goalkeeper can't do that.
Yeah.
Because he's so far away.
And a centre mid can influence the game going forward a lot, and just as much coming back defensively. So I think someone in the middle of the pitch who's all over can get the instructions out to everyone. I think is probably the best.
What's the worst position to be a captain?
I think it's probably. I know there's a lot of strikers that are captains, but I generally think it's probably a striker.
Unless you're like head and shoulders your team's best player, probably a striker. Yeah.
But I think it's losing its weight a bit because like being like actually being the captain. Because like we say, if Ronaldo's playing up front and he's the captain, the centre halves and the centre mids are still going to be doing what they would have done if they were a captain. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
The job on the pitch don't change.
Yeah.
It's maybe the only thing you're allowed to do is talk to the ref more. That's probably the only difference on the pitch.
Is that like a proper thing? Because we see all players surrounding refs.
The ref will. I mean, you're allowed to talk to the ref, and the ref will look for you to talk to you.
Okay.
If let's say one of your teammates is coming to the ref complaining about something, he will tell the player to go away.
Yeah.
Or he'll bring the captain over and talk to the captain on behalf of the player. So the captain's allowed to talk to the ref. Anyone else runs the risk of.
I feel that.
And so I don't know if you know this, but before Premier League games, the ref, probably an hour before kickoff, will call in the two captains.
Really?
And,
they do that with us.
I didn't know that.
I do that, yeah. Into like a room in between the change rooms, and will basically go through what he wants from both teams from the games. If this happens, how he wants the one team to react.
Wow. Okay.
For example, if there's a foul or something, everyone's crowded. I only want to speak to the captains.
Yeah.
So he just goes over what he wants from them and how he expects the game to run.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Is it not the same? Don't all refs want the same thing though? Is that meeting going to be don't crowd the ref and then you all crowd the ref?
The meeting, I mean, I've never been in it, obviously.
I've never been in one, but I assume it's pretty similar.
It's pretty much the same.
I think I'd go, sound ref, walk out, mug. You're getting it today.
Yeah, the thing is, I've heard the boys talk about this at the training ground, but like the captain will go in, and that's generally when they find out what ref it is. So as they go back into the training room, they'll be like, boys, we've got whoever today, like either good or bad reaction.
Yeah.
And that's when everyone starts to know and prepare themselves for the ref.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And that's the captain's job.
Yeah, that is the captain's job.
I love that. There are different types of captains, right? We've spoken about a few. There's your old school, your loud, aggressive. You've got your kind of quiet, leading by example. Captains based off technical ability, which you spoke about, motivators. What is the best and what do you personally respond to best?
Yeah.
Obviously, you want all of them things.
Of course, you'd want them all. But for me, if I had to pick what I respect the most and what I respond to best, it's someone who leads by example.
Okay.
Leads by their actions. First of all, how good they are as a player. How professional they are. You know, like we said, staying after training, doing extras, recovery in the gym. You know, eating right. Just being an all-round top professional. Because if you and like I said, good on the pitch, but if you've got like the loud communication side and you're really good at motivating the players, and you're not doing it on the pitch, what you're saying to me is going to start losing its weight because I'm thinking you're not even good, you're not even playing well.
Yeah, absolutely.
How are you telling me what to do or trying to motivate me? Like you can still motivate me and you can still be good with words and articulate yourself well.
Yeah,
but you definitely need to be doing it on the pitch for me.
I think what you've just said is so interesting because I think at Sunday League, it's. In my experience, it's the biggest, loudest, fattest geezer. It is, right? And so I've never really thought if they're bad at football, because most of the time they are bad at football. Premier League, there's no bad footballing captains. I don't think I've ever thought of that.
Yeah,
it's always a good player.
Yeah.
Whereas at Sunday League, it's not. It's just the loudest, most annoying
bloke. You can't be captain if you're not a good player.
Yeah.
Like, it's what you said. Like captains are probably setting the example. They're setting the expectations for the players and the standards basically on and off the pitch. So if your captain's the one costing you every game, he probably won't play. At one point he'll stop playing, and then you can't be you can't be captain for long if you're not playing. And also like if you're going to be a vocal captain that's going to be setting the standard for players, if you're not doing it yourself, every player has an ego. They'll just be like they'd tell you, look, like I don't want to hear that from you. You're costing us, or you're so you have to be leader by example. I think that's probably the most important thing. Whatever other type of captain you are, if you don't lead by example, you struggle.
Have you ever had any incidents where maybe the captain's not playing well, or you don't believe in their ability, and you've been a bit like, I'm just going to do my own thing?
I wouldn't say with the captain, no. I mean, I've probably not played enough in men's football for that to be the case. I don't know, Ken, have you?
I've definitely played with captains that have been one of the weaker players. Yeah.
Is that tough, or do you just whatever?
It's only annoying if they're also very vocal.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, come on, like
that's me at 7-a-side, by the way, having a terrible game and saying.
But it's not been common. Like most of the time, you want to almost look up to your captain. So most of the time, you're in a position where that's not the case. Yeah.
Is it a good role to have, being a captain?
Yeah.
Because you've said it kind of took away from your game playing a little bit.
Don't get me wrong, I still liked it. It's on the pitch. I'd love to do it, but it's what comes with off the pitch.
I was going to say that that's probably that's a bigger job than on the pitch. On the pitch, everyone's meant to be a captain, or everyone's meant to
I feel that.
talk or whatever. Like other than the referee part, everyone's meant to try and lead and talk. But off the pitch, you have a lot of responsibility.
Like what?
Like,
well, you've got first of all, as we spoke about in a previous episode, you got to sort out all the fines. So you basically police the fine system for the boys.
Oh, you're in charge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So do you set the rates?
You'll set at the start of the season, yeah. So at the start,
that's quite a fun job, no?
It can be. It can be a bit of a ball ache, though.
Is alright, but once you realise you have to actually keep track of everyone's fines, that's long.
I like they're taking cash.
Every captain I've seen will has like some physical book where they'll write down who's been fined, how much, and what for.
No way.
Yeah, you have to, otherwise you just wouldn't keep up.
And so they're policing that. So you're basically doing admin.
You're the accountant.
Yeah,
you're the club accountant.
You're the accountant, and then that will go. I don't know if you know how that works, but at Palace it would go to court on a Friday.
Okay.
So
not actual court, right?
No, just in the changing room.
Yeah.
So it'd be like Ken, boots in the gym, 250 quid. Okay, and then Ken could appeal it. So it'd be you'd say yeah or no. If he says no, bollocks, I didn't do that. It would go to court.
Yeah.
We'd pick 3 or 4 players for the jury, and if they said he's guilty, then the fine gets doubled.
Wow, and the captain is judge, jury, executioner.
Captain just polices the whole thing, and captain keeps hold of the money.
Right. Well. Okay.
So all the money that's collected, we'll keep hold of it and maybe use it, like we said, on a Christmas party.
This does all sound quite fun, if I'm honest.
Not if people are dropping a few grand every week.
Well, that is true. Yeah, if we're talking Premier League.
It's quite fun.
It's fun, but I do not envy the guy counting all the fines.
Yeah.
Like for example, fines for nutmegs in training. Or kicking the ball over a fence. Those kind of fines.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah.
You're training, but you're keeping that in your mind. And then when you go in, the first thing you're doing is writing down all, like, that's a, you know what I mean? That's.
I didn't know it was things like nutmegs in training.
No, those and also are all there, isn't it?
As we said, you need to back it up with evidence as well. So there's people filming you. There's obviously some people get on the security cameras.
No way.
Yeah, so...
Are we paying the jury off at some point?
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it last week, didn't we? Or the week before, but I've known people to tip the security guy or the person who's in control of the cameras to basically say, get rid of it. If they've come in late, just don't show that to anyone.
That is crazy. Does it ever get serious, the fines thing? Or is it all done with a smile and a laugh?
I mean, it depends where the club's situation may be in the league.
Or,
like
then it wouldn't be fun. I get that.
Yeah,
okay.
Because if the club's like performing poorly and then the discipline's getting a bit out of hand.
Yeah.
And then you're dropping 10% of a weekly wage for turning up late to a match day. Like everything just comes on top, and then it's like you go in court, try and appeal it, you lose it, doubled. Everyone starts getting on each other a bit there.
How does it work if the captain's done something wrong and the captain, Ken says, "Captain, you left your sliders in the shower."
Exactly that.
Yeah,
anyone can get them. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to.
The captain's just in charge of logging it all, so he'd have to log himself.
That's long. Okay. I wouldn't want to be the one to have to. Well, he was captain for a lot of it. Go tell Roy Keane after a Man United loss. You owe us $1,000 because you left your sliders in the changing room.
The people who are captains hopefully shouldn't be doing that stuff. So that's why they're.
So captains. The captains aren't getting done much because they're, as you say, leading by example.
Got to be fine at least.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
Captains also sort out the match day tickets. They can sort out like.
What?
Team nights out.
The tickets?
Yeah.
Is that not like the admin does that?
The captain's job is...
The captain does a lot.
Is so much admin.
One of the captains you respect the most, the ones that do all of that stuff very well and very...
Yeah.
Like, look out for the players, because there's a lot of stuff that maybe go wrong in a club between management and players or people above in terms of, paydays and whatever. And a good captain will sort of represent the players.
Wow.
In that sort of area. So there's a lot to do. It's a lot more off the pitch than on the pitch.
That's
I'll tell you where it goes on. So the coach journey the day before a game to the hotel. That's where all the players will be, texting family and friends to see who wants to come to the game, who don't. You normally get 2 tickets per player. Yeah. Generally, if it's a home game, maybe more.
Okay.
But the captain will then have to divvy out the tickets. So there'll be some games where, Ken's needs an extra 2 tickets. I don't need any. So I'll say to the captain, right, I've not got 2. Ken's taking my 2. So captain's like trying to juggle these numbers. Who's having what? I've got.
It's a ball game, mate.
It's just like he's doing this all the day before a game. He's a Premier League captain. Why don't you just get someone else to do it?
I cannot believe, and I think you've told me a lot on this show that I've been surprised at. Some of it I've heard rumours of a kitchen on a bus.
Yeah.
Captain sorting tickets is something I've never heard of.
That's common.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You'd think pay someone to do it.
Yeah.
But the tickets they're like gold dust sometimes.
Yeah,
especially
I
in
do
these
get
big
that.
games. If you want to make sure you're all getting your fair share and they're looked after.
Yeah.
So if you get someone else to do that and stuff gets mixed up, it's better to just keep it all in house, all with the players.
I was going to say, you can't say to the 18-year-old academy that's coming up, I'll give you 200 quid to sort this week, because if he does it wrong, it's your fault.
You can't do it.
I meant more like an actual member of staff.
Okay, yeah. You're not deputising your jobs.
Yeah.
Anything else? Because that's wild that they do. That has really surprised me.
Yeah. Team nights out.
Okay.
If they want to do it through the club, like if the club want to just say, I'll organise a team night out, the captain will speak to, whoever at the club that's sorting it out, and communicate, be the middleman between the club and the players. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Like we spoke about on the team bonding stuff.
Yeah.
So they'll do all that stuff. They do a lot.
So Martin Odegaard is walking up and down the bus day before a game and saying, Martinelli, how many tickets you want?
He will be, yeah.
That's mad.
No, I can guarantee.
Okay, yeah.
But at the training ground, I can guarantee you that.
It's just because you said walking up and down the bus.
Yeah.
It's probably last minute, but
he'll hand out the tickets though.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That is mad.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? But
I just think captain is the motivator, the leader.
Yeah.
Not sorting out tickets.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
just kind of the leader of the change.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Any admin that's for the team,
it does
or any message for the team will come to you from the manager, from the sporting director, from I don't know, whoever the receptionist. If they've got a problem, they'll come to the captain. The captain
mad
relays it to the team.
Yeah, the captain can also be responsible for negotiating the players' bonuses for certain competitions.
Yeah.
Really?
So they'll go in at the. Let's say you're Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
They've just got in the Champions League. They finished 2nd or 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Next pre-season, it's basically Martin Odegaard's job to go in and say, right, we've got you here. We think we deserve this for it. We've got you the Champions League. We've got you this money. Someone's earning a fortune. We want a piece.
Mental. How is that not just? How is the club not just going? This is what you get in.
I mean, they would in the end, but you're trying to get.
It's
more.
an actual negotiation.
Yeah, of course.
That is mad.
Of course, you can try and get more. They might say no, but someone's got to try.
You got to remember, it's employees and they're all just employees at the club.
I think that's the tough bit. That's the tough bit to work out exactly. That they are team leaders.
What it is they're footballers, so people think their job is just football.
Yeah.
Think about your job, whatever your job title is. You do other stuff within that.
Yeah.
So they do other stuff within just playing football.
That is crazy.
It's still running. They're still involved in this big business, a big football club.
I guess as well, it would come with. I know we're saying that's negative. Sorting out tickets and that isn't inherently negative, right? It's a bit of a ball ache.
No, it's
but not the day before. The day before a game, I like to focus on how I'm going to approach the game, what I'm going to do, who we're playing, not how many tickets.
I guess you'll just have to it'll become part of your routine, won't it? If you're a captain, you have to just accept that all of those admin stuff, and now it would be annoying. You would rather just focus on the game, but you'd have to get in your routine that every Friday or Saturday, if you're playing Sunday, you've got to sort out the tickets.
But there also must be stuff that is bad. Like you have to go to the manager with like a grievance, or you think the manager's doing something wrong, and all the players think it. You've got to be the one to go and say.
Yeah. I've seen it where like the players aren't happy with something, and it's the captain that's going to knock on the manager's door and saying,
"That's right.
We think this." But then that's why it requires a special kind of person to be captain, someone that the manager will respect.
That's interesting as well.
Yeah, because you've got to come in with those sort of grievances, like you've said, and
the manager's choosing it really as well, so they're obviously going to respect the person they've chosen.
That's the thing. Yeah,
I was just about to say the manager chooses the captain, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so they know it's going to be someone that they can deal with coming to them and saying, "We think you've done this wrong" or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean you always hear about the United players in the like Gary Neville era. They basically, if anything was they weren't happy with something, they'd just like get in the change room, basically roll Gary Neville up, and because he was so good at arguing, they'd send him in there and he'd just sort everything out.
Like Tasmanian Devil, shake him a bit and throw him in.
And that goes back to David Beckham when he was at England. We spoke about the different types of captains. Like I can't imagine Beck's getting his hands dirty with the admin. Yeah. Apparently he just palmed that off to Gary Neville.
No way.
Like
little assistant.
So someone like some captains will just like
that's true.
Palm off the roles to maybe the next future captain. Like, oh, you take this, you learn the trade here, mate. Yeah, I can see you being a captain at this club in 2-3 years. You do the admin, get used to it.
That's perfect.
So you're ready.
That's what you're doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're saying to Ken,
that's great, man.
Ken, I think you're going to be captain in 2 years, so you're going to sort tickets.
I would do that if I was captain.
Yeah.
I'd try and delegate as much as possible to someone who'd want to do it, because there'll always be someone.
All the shit roles, basically.
Yeah. So does your captain at the minute sort out tickets, or does he?
He doesn't do the fines.
Okay.
At St Albans, to be fair, we get 2 season tickets sent to us, so we don't have to deal with we just send whoever we want to use the tickets.
Yeah.
Last season when I was at Banbury, the captain on the day before would say how many tickets does everyone need.
Right, but you can still, like, you got 2 season tickets sent to you. You can still give someone off.
Yeah, I can still give them off.
Yeah, so you can still trade, basically.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But like, our captain doesn't do the fines and stuff. That's been delegated to.
Yeah. I don't think you're in the train. Like, obviously you train twice a week, don't you? At the moment, so I think it's it definitely works easier when you see each other every day for like half the day.
Yeah.
Because then there's more opportunity to get.
Yeah.
That does make sense. Yeah. The modern game, eh?
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of which, right, captains. The modern game is, I think, moving towards like American football style captains, where they have defensive captain, attacking captain, overall captain. Is that a good thing?
It's just a load of bollocks.
You think?
I can't see
it's like what's
so
the
you
point?
don't think Saliba is like the captain of defence?
Nah. Okay. I think it is. Football's not American football. American football is very different. Like you have your attackers, your offensive team come on, and then now your defensive team comes on. So it makes sense to have a your offensive captain can't lead the defensive team. Firstly, he doesn't really know the roles. Secondly, he's not on the pitch at the same time as you.
But is there not a lot of like
football's just in sync
in training? Defense go over there, attack go over there to do shooting drills. Then Saliba's in charge there, and Bukayo Saka's in charge of.
I think.
Do you know what I mean?
You just really. In the Premier League, you're going to get to that stand where they all need to be doing that. Like, you don't need to delegate someone to motivate that group, or delegate someone to be the example. They all should be at that level.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, the role of a captain is probably a lot more off the pitch.
Yeah, that's what
on the pitch. Everyone's role is the same, other than talking to the ref. Everyone should be leading by example, using their voice, whatever it is. So there's no such thing as in a back 4 only Saliba talks, or in the front 3 only Saka.
Naturally,
talks.
That might happen.
Yeah, depending on
like
the characters, but it's not a role.
Yeah.
So I can't see football going down that route.
Who does the pre-match team talks? Is that captain? You don't want to pitch in a huddle.
Yeah. More likely.
It will most likely be captain, but it can be both. Like obviously the manager will give his give his chat.
Yeah.
And then the captain might do the last 30 seconds just before they go out onto the pitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or the manager might give his chat, like tactics chat, and then he might do the last 30 seconds. It depends. It switches both ways.
That's a tough job, no? You have the final words, the G'ing up of your team.
Yeah, I think it's a tough job if you're genuinely not motivated for the game. Like imagine you're a diehard Arsenal fan, right? And you're an Arsenal player and you're the captain and you're going to play Tottenham and you need to win this game.
Yeah.
It'd be easy to motivate you because you're feeling it so like the passion within yourself. It's when you're not that person naturally, that's when it's going to be hard. But you shouldn't be a captain then.
Yeah, that makes sense. Would your in the huddle before the game, would your talk be like an aggressive, like army general? Would it be like a, hey guys, we're all friends, we got this? What would you be?
Can't be the hey guys, we're all friends. It would be like it wouldn't be like it wouldn't be like a shouting, but it'd be like a strong motivational.
We can do this.
Yeah, strong motivational one.
Does that actually help before a game?
I don't know.
Probably last minute gets you to lock in a bit for the couple of guys that might not be, like you said about if you motivate for a game, there will be players that aren't.
Yeah.
Like you might get 2 in an 11 that aren't feeling it as much, so you might get them on board with your quick chat. But
then after the first 5 minutes, so you're blowing, you're forgetting about that chat anyway, and you're just into the sync, the rhythm of playing the match.
Yeah,
exactly. So
is it the easiest person? Could it be the easiest person on the team to hate the captain? Because if you're not having a good game and they're going, Ken, what are you doing? Left wing, cut in.
I'd say it's.
But all players will be saying that to you. That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like people.
This is what I'm learning. I think it's different in Sunday League.
It actually is. Like it's not the captain telling everyone what they're doing wrong or what they're doing right.
Bro,
it's everyone. Like you said, the captain is almost there just to do the actual role that a captain has to do. Speak to the ref. Do all the stuff off the pitch. So I don't think you're going to hate your captain anymore.
For example, if your captain's a centre half and you're a forward and you've, I don't know, missed a chance up at the top end of the pitch, your captain might be saying something, but the first person you're going to hear is the attacking midfielder, the left winger, people around you. So and they're talking to you as well. They're not waiting for the captain to come and say something to you. So it's you got leaders on the pitch that aren't necessarily a captain. Yeah. So it's not really just it's not only one man doing all of that stuff on the pitch.
Because that is 7 aside. I'm saying, track your runner. And they go, Noah, shut the fuck up, brother. So maybe I'm not suited for a captain.
Yeah.
Nah,
when the game's going tough, sometimes the players will look to the captain. Like if you're in a bad spell and it's like things are going wrong and the motivation is dipping, someone needs to bring it up.
And we speak about Odegaard a lot. We're Arsenal fans. In the ground, I don't think you notice it on TV because they're not normally locked in on him, but in the ground, he is the one where if there's been 2 minutes of silence in the crowd, he will go around and tell the crowd to liven up. Yeah. And that is massive in a game where you've got 70,000 fans.
Well, that would have been something Arteta would have spoke to him about. And that's another role, like just to act and like translate the coach's wishes on the pitch.
Yeah, okay.
So you're basically the coach on the pitch. That's also, so the manager will definitely have spoke to Odegaard about doing that if you notice it going quiet, get the crowd up for it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Who, in your opinion, I want to do this in 2 parts, right?
Yeah.
If you have a captain from your experience that stands out, we can talk about them and name them, and also who's the best captain ever in footballing history. Like, do you have captains that from maybe youth or like you've played across a few teams, National League? Is there a captain that sticks in your mind like, yes, that was a good captain?
When I first started playing for the training with the first team, Jedinak, I don't know if you remember him.
Oh, yeah.
The Australian.
Yeah.
He was a top captain.
Really?
Yeah, because he just run the show.
Yeah.
So he's one of them that all the young boys coming up, he'd look after and sort of help along in the sessions. He'd speak to every single member of staff, know their names. Cool. And he'd also be a true professional. Like he'd obviously work really hard in the training sessions, but he'd always be after every session doing, I don't know, a little extra game ready or icing or compression for his legs, for his recovery, so he can have such a long career. So
the model professional on all bases.
Yeah, he literally run the show at the club when he was there. So he was probably my standout one.
I like that. Ken, you got anyone?
I wouldn't say a standout. I think to be fair, all the captains I've played with have been good guys.
That's what you want, isn't it?
So yeah, I haven't had a bad experience where I look back and then think, okay, now he was very good.
Yeah.
The captain, in my experiences, have all been pretty similar.
They're quite easy to pick, captains, do you think?
Yes.
Can you walk into a club and be like...
They pick themselves a bit.
Technically. Yeah. There's a lot of things, for example, experience. Like, it's never going to be, well, not never, but more often than not going to be the 18-year-old who's played 20 games. Yeah. He's probably not going to be captain.
And if they are, it shows the level, like Fabregas.
Yeah, then he's a joke. And then it picks itself too.
Yeah.
It's usually a guy who's experienced, played at a higher level maybe. natural leader.
Yeah.
So there's usually, if you look at a change room, three.
Yeah. Okay.
3-4
Yeah,
players
that's
that you
interesting.
could say maybe max that you'd give the armband to, and it's kind of obvious who would get it if he's not on the pitch as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of obvious.
Who's the? You can't say Jednak.
Yeah.
Who's the best captain ever? Then do you think?
Should we go Prem or should we go all time? My answer is probably the same.
Who's yours?
The best captain ever for me, of a captain that was not like years and years before I watched football, I'd probably say Patrick Vieira. Just being an Arsenal fan and also like seeing him at Palace.
Yeah.
He was just.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. I just think again he's just someone that has pretty much all three of them different captains attributes we spoke about. You know, he was a leader off the pitch. He was very vocal on the pitch and off the pitch, and he was a top player. Yeah, like he just couldn't. Couldn't get beat in a tackle, up and down. He'd be in the middle of the pitch as well. I think he's the perfect captain.
I can't think of many better examples of leading by example. That man would have died for Arsenal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you get people like Roy Keane, who I can understand as well. But
he's just terrifying, though, isn't he?
He's terrifying. I think but Patrick is more of a box to box and more involved in the.
As a player, he was better. But also, you'd probably, as a teammate, like Vieira more than United players.
More understanding.
Yeah, because he's just not a prick. Like,
you said it, Ken. You said it, mate.
Like, do you know what I mean? He just looked more as much as you want to look up to your captain and know that he leads by example, and you know that if you do something wrong, he's going to let you know. If he's approachable, it helps.
Yeah. Yes.
If he's kind of like he's your teammate, isn't he? He's not your gaffer. He's your teammate. So
that's such a good point.
It's a bit different.
Yeah, he's too narrow-minded, man.
Yeah, I think
he's offering out fights in car parks at the minute.
If you're a bit different to what he sees as how a player or person should be, you'd probably find it difficult to get along with him.
Yeah.
Who are you saying?
Vieira's a good shout, man.
Vieira is a good shout.
I throw in
because you obviously think of guys like Roy Keane, like to balance what I just said.
You don't get many, if any.
Steven Gerrard
I'd
have up there. Steven Gerrard I'd have up there.
Steven Gerrard, John Terry, and Patrick Vieira. They're my three.
Nice. You got
who's yours?
Vincent Kompany springs to mind.
Yeah, he's a good shout. But again, I just prefer. He wasn't playing enough for me.
Okay.
Sorry.
He didn't play enough for me.
As in enough games, or
like.
Chiellini, another one. We're talking vocals now.
I just prefer a centre mid. I think
Jordan Henderson.
Good
to be
captain.
fair,
captain.
He is
when I think he got a bit of stick.
I can't have him over Gerrard though.
But that's because of ability. Like we said, you got to have the three.
But during lockdown, when the games were silent, got under Bajan. In the games were silent, Jordan Henderson stood out because you heard everything he was saying, everything he was doing, and I think you thought this man is a proper leader.
Yeah,
proper leader. There used to be a lot of keepers.
He's very similar to Gerrard, but
just Gerrard was better.
Gerrard was better. Yeah, probably had a more ruthless game.
Yeah,
which might like he'd go in for dirtier tackles. Basically.
So you're not giving captain's armband to your Neymars?
No way, not in my team.
Because we've spoken about ability, and he's one of the best, right?
Yeah, but how am I gonna have my captain of my team?
Depends who your team is.
Diving every other time he gets tackled, screaming when he goes down. That's not a captain. Like I don't care. I'm not saying he's wrong for doing that. I just mean you can't have a captain there who's not going to lead when things get tough.
You can grow into it though, couldn't you?
You could. As Ronaldo,
the diving would have to stop.
As Ronaldo,
like if you're going to be
like Ronaldo at 20 wouldn't have been captain.
Yeah.
But Ronaldo back end of Real Madrid,
he was already ready to be.
Could giving someone the arm. We spoke about like it sometimes unfocuses people. Like you'd rather focus on your game. Could it make people better?
100%.
Depends on the player, but let's say a Neymar.
Yeah.
It would, like, he's talent-wise unreal. Like, there's nothing, no one can question his ability. It would probably like refine and refocus his game into being, right, we're here to win a game. I'm here to score, assist, etc.
He has a more mature.
Yeah, it's different there. I feel like he's a leader for Brazil when he plays, without a doubt. So definitely, I think, it can.
Well, one thing I think has gone away from the game these days that would be a massive attribute, as we spoke about, is especially with young players, the communication. Like some players can get careers of being, say, an average centre back, but because they're so good at communicating and organising, like they're back. If your back four and midfield four are always in the right positions defensively, because someone's so good at communicating it all the time, that person could have a career even if he's not that good on the ball, like if he wouldn't have had a career without the talking.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's really interesting.
So I feel like that's where the game's gone wrong.
I think kind of, I don't think this is a slight towards him, but Jordan Henderson.
Yeah.
Never the best footballer, right? There was
I
many
think
better
he's
footballers on
underrated as a
Liverpool.
player,
Yeah, I agree. But he is not winning games by himself. But what he is doing is setting that team up to win.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really interesting. Who's the worst captain ever? Me at 7-a-side.
There's got to be some, you know.
There probably is William Gallas.
Yeah, that's a great shout.
William Gallas could be up there.
Crying at full time.
Willie Gallas.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Can't have that.
We're going Arsenal heavy, aren't we?
We are. That is a great shout. There we have it. Thank you very much for listening to our El Capitan episode. Next week, we're doing positional stuff. We're talking strikers. Ken, your big show. Thank you very much. See you next week. No, not yours at all. I won't see you next week. See you and Ken next week, everyone. Cheers.